Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Monday, 28th April. I'm your host Daniel, and just before we get into it, a couple of minor points. I'm going to try and post the podcasts early, so around 8 a.m. British Standard Time, as there's been a lot of feedback around the timing of the podcast. Earlier seems to be better, but I'll also be putting a poll into the Instagram discussion group and to see what time people prefer. Also, lots of feedback around kind of the loose nature of the podcasts over recent weeks. Most of it very positive. So we're going to try and keep it in that manner and just kind of try and talk through things each morning. So today we're going to be covering North Korea has confirmed troop deployments to Russia for the first time. 11 people have been killed after a car ploughed into a festival in Vancouver. And Russia says it's open to talks with Ukraine after liberating Kursk, which Ukraine has denied, by the way. So firstly, North Korea has admitted for the first time that it has sent troops to Russia to fight in the war with Ukraine. The state news agency said on Monday that its soldiers helped Moscow reclaim territory under Ukrainian control in the border region of Kursk. The agency said that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had ordered the deployment as part of the Mutual Defense Treaty with Russia. Under the order of the head of state, the subunits of the armed forces of the Republic regarded the territory of Russia as the one of their country and provided firm assistance between the two countries, the agency said. North Korea is estimated to have sent nearly 14,000 troops to fight alongside Russian forces. Russia confirmed on Saturday for the first time that North Korean troops had been fighting alongside Russia in Kursk. Moscow said last week that Ukrainian forces had been expelled from the last villages remaining in the Kursk region. But Kiev has denied this claim and said their troops were still operating in Belgorod and other Russian regions beyond the Ukrainian border. So what? While this is not a huge change in what we already knew, as there's been numerous videos and prisoners of war and other accounts that would lead an intelligence analyst to assess at almost certainty that North Korean troops were fighting alongside Russian, the open admitting of it is a big step when it comes to explaining the conflict in diplomatic terms. Up until now, Russia has denied the North Korean troops as helping them. This now brings in an international dynamic, which kind of opens the way for Western countries to have a bit more legitimacy in providing support to Ukraine, as now it's getting close to a multi-state conflict. This also kind of opens the door to North Korean troops providing support in the annexed regions, as Russia has claimed that they are now part of the Russian state. So thereby, in their constitution, North Korean troops could provide support in these regions. This includes like Zaporizhzhia, where they don't control the main city, and Kherson in a similar situation. So it'll be interesting to see if we now see a boost in North Korean troops in other sectors of the conflict. And next, Vancouver police said on Sunday that 11 people have been killed after a driver ploughed through a crowd celebrating a Filipino heritage festival in Vancouver, Western Canada. The Canadian Prime Minister expressed shock and devastation, thanking first responders. Carney said that the incident had also left 20 people injured. He added that there was no ongoing threat to Canadians, having been briefed overnight by national security and intelligence advisors, as well as the public safety minister about the situation. He sent his deepest condolences before adding that his wishes for the strength go out to those injured and impacted. Police said in an initial statement on X that they had detained the driver. A later post described the suspect as a 30-year-old Vancouver man. The interim police chief said the suspect was not known to them. Authorities later on Sunday charged the suspect with 8 counts of second-degree murder, adding to the further charges that could be filed. So what? From what I've seen online, the man seemed to be of Asian descent, and there was rumours on X that he may have been mentally challenged. There was a video of him circulating online where he'd been kind of apprehended by a crowd of people, where he looked absolutely terrified. It seems highly unlikely that it was motivated by any kind of terrorism or ideological factors. It's quite possible that this was just an accident, but I guess we'll wait for the official report. And lastly, Russian President Vladimir Putin has reportedly prepared to hold peace talks with Ukraine, the Kremlin said on Saturday, as the military claimed they have recaptured the border region of Kursk. According to Kremlin's spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, Putin said that his readiness to negotiate during the meeting with US President Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff in Moscow on Friday. Peskov's comments came after the Russian military claimed to have ejected or eliminated the last of the Ukrainian troops, which had made a surprise cross-border incursion into the Russian Kursk region in August last year, considered by many analysts as an attempt to give Kiev a territorial bargaining chip ahead of negotiations. So what? While the reports about Ukrainian forces being pushed out of Kursk and in all border regions seem to be up in the air for now, with Ukraine claiming they still hold a few villages over the border, it is highly likely that Putin's openness, or claimed openness, to hold peace talks with Ukraine is just a continuation of his stalling tactics to keep Trump on side as much as he can while he continues this conflict. The one thing that Putin is kind of worried about is secondary tariffs on any country buying Ukrainian oil, which is something Trump has feared as this would continue to crush the Russian economy, which is already in a pretty dire state. I've seen many people talk about this as why Russia keeps trying to delay the negotiations, or appears to say they want to be open to them, while they just continue to either put forward ridiculous claims which have no one would legitimately expect Ukraine to accept them, and then try and blame Ukraine for not wanting peace, which is what Trump isn't very happy about. Outside of this, it just appears to be more of the same from Russia. They're just trying to delay these negotiations and see where that gets them. But yeah, thank you for listening to today's Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you.